Welcome back to the YouTube channel of Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley. I'm Pastor Charmley, and this is another video in our series on Welsh churches, otherwise what the pastor did on his holiday. This is St. Peter's, Llanbedr Dyffryn Clwyd, Llanbedr DC for short. Brief memory lapse, but it's Llanbedr DC, and it's a Victorian church. There was an older church, and in fact its ruins still exist on a mountainside, but a Victorian landowner felt that it was too much to ask for his tenants to walk up the mountain to church on Sunday mornings. They disagreed with him, but he was the landowner, and so he rebuilt the church, and they were still annoyed that he had knocked down their old church, or unroofed their old church, and made them worship in the village rather than up on the mountain, because traditions matter. So here we are, St. Peter's. Llanbedr simply means the enclosure dedicated to St. Peter. So let's have a look around the inside of this little Victorian church. The Victorians had definite ideas about churches, and one of them was that the pointed style, what's commonly referred to as Gothic, is the proper style for a church, and so the building has a certain French Gothic feel to it. It certainly doesn't feel like a medieval Welsh church would have felt, but that wasn't apparently what was important to the architect. The architect felt instead it had to feel uplifting. Here we have in front of us the font. Again, because it's a Victorian church, it's pretty much all of a piece. We have here one of the old memorials taken from the previous building. Sacred to the memory of the departed Worth in the adjoining churchyard are interred the remains of William Green, rector of this parish. Of course, not the adjoining churchyard here now, but the old churchyard. He departed this life the 26th of October 1782, aged 80. Also Sidney, his wife, daughter of Dr. Fuchs of Marshwiel, that's near Wrexham. She died the 24th of May 1798, aged 74. Mary Green, daughter of the above, died November 1794, aged 40. Thomas Grieve, their youngest son, departed this life February the 16th, 1795, aged 34. So one generation quite long lived, the next not so much. And William, the eldest son of Rector Green, died at sea unmarried. So he would have gone to sea, probably with the Navy. And we have a modern element, the Station of the Cross. This is a relatively high parish, quite high. You can see the light burning in the sanctuary, telling us that the reserved sacrament is there. And as we proceed, we have these memorials, all from the old church so far. Here we have Ursula, there's on her monument, Hope and the cross. Ursula, second daughter of Howell Lloyd of Wigfire in the county of Flint, Esquire, by Phoebe, second daughter of Heather Lloyd of Havudnos in the county of Denbigh. You can see there's been some recarving there. Esquire and relict of the late Hugh Lloyd of Birth in this parish, Esquire. She died on the 21st day of September 1795, aged 73. So again, long lived. And contrast the memorial here with the window, stained glass window, 1898. So that's approximately 100 years later, and that's the sort of memorial then. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul and all thy mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the will of this is his commandment, that we should believe on the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another. Here's Edward Lloyd of Birth. And then below we have the memory of the late Reverend Edward Thelwall, M.A. For 36 years, the beloved rector of this parish, the Reredos in this church, is erected by Edward Owen Voint Lloyd, Midsummer 1879. And then memory of Edward Owen Vaughan Lloyd of birth, and Ragat, born 20th of August 1857, died 29th of October 1914. There's another memorial here, the Lloyds, another Lloyd here. This is the Virgin Mary and the infant Jesus, and Christ as the Good Shepherd. Pulpit, I get font from pulpit, and eagle lectern. The chancel is quite gloomy. It does have lights, but I think the controls are on the inside of the vestry. Here we have St. Luke and St. Paul. St. Luke, the beloved physician. And here we have, to the glory of God, in grateful memory of Dr. George A. Crace Calvert of the Vale of Clwyd Sanatorium, Llanbedr Hall in the county of Denbigh, and churchwarden of this church, who died July 9th, 1918, aged 46 years. His windows erected by a number of his old patients. A little bit of wrought ironwork there with the organ behind, and as we process into the chancel it gets a bit gloomy, but we still have stained glass windows. This would be one of the early ones, St. James, another St. Paul, St. Peter of course, Christ in Majesty, and St. John. There we have this beautifully painted reredos. Here you can see the Last Supper in full relief, painted, and we have the Ten Commandments in Welsh, the Creed, and the Our Father. Little tabernacle there, and then we look west, and the big open roof of the nave. You see a projector there. This is modern life intrudes as it always did. I mean, this church itself was bang up to date and brand spanking modern when it was built. It's just become a more old-fashioned building as time goes by. There we are, to the northeast of the old churchyard, lie entombed the remains of Joseph Ablett, Esquire, of Llanbedr Hall, Dyffryn Clwyd, a pious and just man of cultivated manners, refined taste, and great benevolence. He endeavoured through life to follow the track of his Redeemer Jesus Christ, and went about doing good, offering consolation to the weary and relieving the sufferings of his fellow man. To wanton misery his purse was always open, and he ever strove to keep secret his acts of mercy. He died in January 1848, aged 75. Another memorial, a wonderful pre-Raphaelite angel here. Memory of Jane Bacon, died 24th of May 1886 by devoted and beloved sister Mary Bell. He is not dead, but sleepeth. And again another memorial from the old church. In the adjoining churchyard lie the earthly remains of John Jones, M.A. of Jesus College. Jesus College had a particular connection with Wales. Oxon, that's Oxford, the venerable Archdeacon of Merioneth, and during 15 years the rector of this parish, a sincere Christian, ardent and pious in his official duties, strict in morals, pure in faith, of great simplicity, of few wants, honest in principle. He was unawed by the world. He raised himself to its highest esteem and respect by his industry, his learning, and his scriptural knowledge. This tablet was erected by his mourning widow in 1835. Again from the old church, and we have these various pieces here. You'll notice here this stand for oil lamps, because again this is oil lamp country, or it was, until electricity came. This is all very 19th century. I believe it's it feels to me very much to be 1870s, or maybe, yes, 1870s really. And there's the west window, very nice piece of that sort of window. Well, we'll go outside now and have a look at the exterior of this building, which is most interesting. So here we are outside St. Peter's, enjoying this interesting stripy building. The stripiness is often quite... It's not medieval in England anyway. It's not something you find in medieval Wales. There's even less medieval Welsh, but it is rather fun and a bit quirky and very, very Victorian. So let's continue to look around the outside of this quirky little Victorian building while trying not to be too much interrupted by the traffic going past. You can't see it, but we are on fairly main road here. So here we are looking at the church. It's raining, it's spitting a bit really, but hopefully I'm getting on the lens. And you'll notice the little spire, a spire that you could find on a nonconformist church. You'll find on it's a very Victorian design here. Again, it's quite Frenchified rather than being properly Welsh, if you will. But great fun, great fun. You can see that the architect is going for, this is going to look impressive. This is something that people are going to want to look at. Stripes on the roof even, and that spire again. The porch is not the tower, but the tower abuts the porch. And of course the chancel is apsidal with these great big gargoyles, although some of them are obviously, yes, they are gargoyles, because the true gargoyle spits out water. It's a decorative drain pipe, and there's definitely true gargoyles there. Now we have here memorial to Joseph Finn, who died at Ruthin, 12th of December 1871. Well, that dates this building. If aged 65 years, having been, I think, 17 years a butler with the Reverend E. Thelwall, who was, of course, the first minister to work here, rector of Llanbedr. So that was the rector's butler, his grave. Again, a reminder of the Victorians. Very much Victorian life had a lot to do with having servants, domestic servants. If you were upper class, you had a lot of them. If you were middle class, you had a few of them. There we are, looking down the side of this nice striped building. You see there the gargoyles exuberantly sticking out, ready to spit their water away from the building so it doesn't damage the fabric. And there are various types. There's a pig, you can see a cockerel there, you can see an eagle there. Vestry, very important. Again, the Victorians had quite an emphasis on vestry. It's one of the things that Victorians added to churches where they didn't exist, and you can see again it's a little structure that's almost separate from the main structure. And there's that exuberant little spire at the top. Marvellous building. You see here the north side. The north side is the plainer. Normally, it's simply plainer in this case because it's where the vestry is and it's where the tower isn't. But you've still got that striped roof, the different types of slate. And we're here. Llanbedr is just by the road to the road between Ruthin and Mold. Obviously we're on the Ruthin end of the road, not the Mold end. And at the foot of the hills, as we prepare to go down into the vale, you can just see in the distance perhaps there Ruthin itself and the tower and spire of the collegiate church there. Ruthin is one of those Norman towns that the Normans built with their castle to dominate the Welsh here, and there's the cloud coming down the mountain towards us. And this path leads down to the church hall and through the graveyard, which is relatively extensive given this church has only been here since about 1870. Also, there we are, Llanbedr DC, Llanbedr Dyffryn Clwyd. A little Victorian Gothic fantasy, Frenchified and pretty here on the edge of the Vale of Clwyd, and as the cloud rolls down the mountain towards us, we head back and head off to our next destination. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy these videos. I certainly enjoy making them, going out to these little churches and exploring, and hopefully see you in another one, or you'll see me in another one. And God bless you and keep you.